Hello there, everybody. You know, Grand Arena is, for my money, the best game mode I've ever played in a game like this. And in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, you get to come into Grand Arena at level 85, pit your roster against somebody else's roster, and yeah, there are flaws, and yeah, you're going to face a lot of rosters that you have no chance of beating. But what about when you get up against someone that you have a good chance of beating as a beginner, early game, mid game, that you've got a chance to beat, and maybe they're a little bit better than you, maybe they're a lot better than you, but you got a chance to come in there and really make a difference. What can you do to fully prepare yourself as a Grand Arena beginner, early gamer, mid gamer to really get yourself ready, put your best foot forward, and make a difference for your roster in Grand Arena? Greetings and hello there, everybody. It's me, your beloved Star Wars Dad, Nooch Too Good, here to talk today about, well, exactly that. Grand Arena for beginners, kind of a beginner's early mid-gamer guide to how to prep yourself for Grand Arena, how to put your best foot forward. I need to resave my roster. Let's do that. Resave. Hey, make sure you resave your roster. If you make any changes between the time you join Grand Arena and the time Grand Arena starts, you can just resave that roster, get your new mods and whatever you're going to do. So, I think there's a lot of resources out there, and one resource I'm going to point to, and I don't have it up here on screen, but I'm going to tell you guys to go watch Xerath. Xerath, every round of Grand Arena puts out a list of the top or the best 3v3 teams to the top 5v5 teams. Now, again, you know, that's for an end game type of roster or a late game type of roster, so it won't apply to some of you guys, but definitely go look at those. You'll get some ideas for some teams. Watch some Grand Arena videos of me here on the channel, other YouTubers. You're going to get a lot of tips for how to use Grand Arena just by watching and learning. And the more you play, the better you do. Now, I'm going to acknowledge up front, like I did a minute ago, there are challenges. As a new or early gamer in Grand Arena, you're just going to run up against rosters that you cannot beat. But I will tell you that those rosters are down in that carbonite, at the carbonite levels for a reason. The reason those big rosters are in carbonite is because they don't play very much. So if you go out there and just play, you make an attempt to get your 10 points, or maybe you beat one or two teams, something like that, you have a chance of climbing. On my free-to-play account right now, my Java free-to-play account, I just climbed up to Bronzium 4 this month. Bronzium 4 this round. And that's a big deal. It's going to be a lot more crystals for me on a daily basis. So the more you actually just put an effort into Grand Arena, the more daily crystals you're going to get through the rewards. And we can see that through the rewards right here. You know, when in my carbonite levels, I was looking at 75 crystals a day for carbonite 1. Now I'm in Bronzium 4, and that's not right. Bronzium 4 is, this is weird clicking, but Bronzium 4 gets me 85 crystals a day. But even back in carbonite, if I went a little bit lower than that, if I was in carbonite low levels, I was only getting 55. So I'm getting extra crystals all the time by climbing up through Grand Arena, so it's really important. But what is the best tool you can use? Now, I know that you can edit your defense right here. You can look at your opponent's roster. You can say, okay, this is a match where my opponent has me way outclassed. I can't beat them. Or this is a round where I have a chance to beat my opponent, or it's kind of close. They have a little bit better roster, but I have better mods. What can you do to actually prepare for that? So I guess the first thing is look at their roster. That's the first step to preparing. The second step is really just one website, swgoh.gg. This is your resource for almost everything in the game. This is a great resource. It's tremendous. And if you go in, you should be registered on here. If you're in a guild, most guilds will require you to register on swgoh.gg. You see right here, it's my Star Wars Dad profile. And if you go in there, you can see all your characters in history, but you can look at the characters in history, Grand Arena history of your opponent as well. And how do you do this? Well, there's a couple of ways. One, you can pull up your GAC history, and right up here in the top address bar, you're going to see your ally code. And I'm clicking it up there. It's kind of hard to see. It's kind of small. We can zoom in a little bit. Let's see if we can. That doesn't help me. Zooming in the screen doesn't help me. So up here, this is my ally code right here at the top. Now, if I highlight that, I can type in my opponent's ally code, which you can see on their roster, and then it'll pull up their information, the same as I'm about to show you with mine here. The other way is you can do a simple search. If I do a Google search for swgoh.gg, and this will work for anybody, but I'm going to do Arnold. Arnold T101, GAC history. And GAC is Grand Arena Championship. If I looked it up, I can look up Arnold T101's profile, his characters, his test profile. So I could have just looked him up. So if I go to Arnold T101, then I can look up his GAC history right here and I can see what's going on with him. Hey, sorry about that. I had a brief interruption. Today was my son's actually first day, my youngest son's first day of driving to school by himself. He got his license yesterday, so exciting things happening in your Star Wars dad's life. So when I saw him off to school, watched him drive away, exciting. All right, so anyway, here on swgoh.gg, you can look up your opponent. You can see, and you can take a look at what they did the last round. When you want to go to the 3v3s over here, you can go to their 3v3 rounds or their 5v5 rounds. Go to the 3v3, and you can take a look at their defense and just see what they've set on defense. Now, it depends on how much work you want to do. Do you want to go through and take a look at multiple rounds of their defense to see what they're likely to set over and over and over on defense and determine what you're going to set on defense? You can figure out what they're going to save for offense to determine your defense as well. So I'm just giving you this tool here. You know, it's really great. It's just a tremendous tool, swgoh.gg. The other part of it I'll say is that I have upgraded as well to Grand Arena Insight, GAC Insight. And with GAC Insight, you can even pull up more and more teams like counters for offense in Grand Arena as well. And then you guys will see me use this on my streams for Grand Arena. I come in here, I think it's $10 a month or something. It's up to you if you want to pay that, but GAC Insight does that. Gives you a lot of deep insight into all the different counters. You can go into individual squads, individual characters that you're trying to defeat on defense. Like you got a standalone Lord Vader. How do you defeat him on defense? But even that said, just GAC counters. If you go to GAC and GAC counters, and you can go to previous seasons, the season that's going on. You can look at ship counters here, 3v3 counters, 5v5 counters. You can look at different characters, counters for Rey. Leia Organa 95.5%, Rey versus Rey 94%, Rey versus Rey 90. So but that's a different comp because this one has Cal Kestis, where this one had Hermit Yoda. So you can go through this GAC counter. So swgoh.gg for me is the best resource you can use for Grand Arena, as far as if you want to really do some research on your opponent, see what they're setting on defense. If they set the same defense over and over and over again, do they mix it up every time? If they set the same defense over and over again, what can you tool your defense for to really match up with them? Do I use this a lot? I gotta say, I really don't use it to set my defenses. It's just a matter of time managing multiple accounts. If I was managing one account, I really would probably be digging in, and maybe I'll take a little more time and do that in the future. I'm trying to get myself into higher levels of Kyber, and maybe that's what I gotta do to get there. So I don't have a lot more to say. I really think, for you guys, playing as much Grand Arena as possible. The more you play, the more chances you have to climb, even over people that are really a lot bigger than you, because a lot of times they're not going to play, or they don't know the ins and outs, and they're not planning. If you're a 2 million roster and you're going in against somebody that's 4 or 5 million, they probably either aren't as good at strategy as you, aren't as good at modding as you. Their farming is a little more amorphous. They're farming all over the place instead of to specific targeted teams, and maybe they aren't planning at all. If you go look at that swgoh.gg and see what they set for defense, you can plan your defense and your offense for that round as well. There you go, boys and girls. That's how you plan ahead for your Grand Arena levels. Hope this helped you as a beginner, early, or mid gamer to get ready for Grand Arena. I will talk to you soon. Have a great day, and of course, always remember, Nooch too good.